Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and the light is now on me, not focusing on her. Today we have A Miracle on 34th Street. No, not the 1947 version. We have already done that one in this series, probably last Christmas. I can't remember. It's in there somewhere. You can look it up on my channel. This time we're doing the 1994 version, and in the 1994 version, you get basically the same exact film except for some fine details. Obviously, new actors. It's Coles, not Kohl's. It's not that. It's COLES, Coles, instead of Macy's. Apparently, Macy's probably didn't want to look like a struggling department store even in 1994. Well, now. I don't know if they're really struggling now, but they're one of the last few classic department stores left. It's still, Kohl's is still on 34th Street in New York City, where this takes place. And we have a Santa who suddenly gets pulled into the world of commerce, where he's just walking around New York City, and he finds a drunk Santa about to get in the Thanksgiving Day parade, and, he tells him off a bit and gets him fired from his job, and is asked to replace him soon after by a young woman named Dory Walker, played by Elizabeth Perkins. And she has a daughter, and you might know who she is. That's Miranda. Why can't I say her name? Mara Wilson. You might recognize her as Matilda. She was in that film. It was a film, right? Yeah, Matilda. So she's probably one of the best things about this. I usually am really pretty rough on kid actors because they tend to be just shoehorned in there, and a lot of kid actors are not good. Let's just say that. They are not good, and they shoot around them as if, you can pretty much clear the set of any other actors, and they just shoot their scenes and then edit them in together later on. Not in this case, I don't think, because she shows some genuine emotion, even though she's her character as it is, does not believe in Santa. She's kind of real logical and real world kind of girl. She's not a dreamer, and but she plays that role to the hilt. And when she's confronted with Santa, she shows sadness, and that it's hard to explain until you see her perform. She's pretty fantastic in this. I think so. I'm no expert, but I think she's fantastic in it. But of course, up against Sir Richard Attenborough, yes, the man who brought dinosaurs back from the dead the year before in Jurassic Park. He gets to bring make wishes come true for children around the world. More specifically in New York City as the new store Santa. One of the things that I don't know, I can't remember if maybe this was possible back in 1947. I just don't see how and this is a cynicist in me, but I don't see how a store Santa, I want to say a mall Santa, but it's just a department store, how a store Santa can weigh the fate of a department store by being a good Santa. Like, oh, he literally looks like Santa. Oh, he's really good with kids. Well, our stocks are suddenly up. Our sales are up 70% this past week he's been here. I don't understand that. He's just one Santa. I mean, sure, they probably have stores in other cities and states and everything else, but okay, maybe all the sales are up just in the New York store? I don't know. What is this? And of course, they do have a competition from what is essentially a super value store, which is a Walmart, but in the city. Like, imagine a Walmart in New York City. That seems like a bad idea. But yeah, they have lower prices and they are convenient, but they have a very curmudgeon-y, Scrooge-like boss who's trying to steal Santa away in order to win the day against the department store that he wants to buy out eventually. But if they keep making profits because of Santa, well, then he can't buy them at the lowest price. So there's all this, corporate intrigue that all is on the shoulders of this Santa, even though he doesn't really know or care about any of it. And of course, he's makes it clear to everybody he's not playing Santa. He is Santa. Everybody just sort of poo-poos it and ignores the fact he doesn't have a social security number when they hire him. That doesn't come up at all. We don't ever get to hear how much he makes. Like, he's getting paid. If you're going to be working as a store Santa, you're getting paid. Even if he says, no, don't pay me, they have to pay him. That's just the way it is. So it's never clear as to how much he's getting paid or where that money goes. He doesn't need it. He's Santa. I imagine. I don't know. He did have some Monopoly money, I think, at one point that he tried to spend in public, but that's because he mixed it up. He grabbed the wrong pile of money back in the elf offices. I don't know. So anyway, we get this whole intrigue. We get the story about whether we should believe in Santa or not, and it comes down to a dramatic courtroom battle, which really gets fast tracked right up against Christmas. Usually everybody's sort of like, yeah, we can put this off till January. Any other court system is going to go, oh, there's a crazy guy who thinks he's Santa who hit somebody with his cane. Yeah, he hit somebody with his cane. But because the guy was a total creep and he was saying some awful things about Santa. And Santa went off on him just a little bit, but there were certain people around to make it look a whole lot worse. People working for the bad guys. Anyway, so we get the corporate intrigue. We get the little girl who doesn't believe in Santa. Does she believe in Santa enough to help him overcome his adversity, and does his adversity help everybody overcome their adversity? And that's just how it works out. It's pretty straightforward. If you've seen the old one, you kind of already seen the new one. It's 1994, but it's still a good Christmas film. If you have kids who are just like, oh, that's a black and white, it's so old. Why would I look at that? Just tell them, hey, we got one that's just like it. It has the guy from Jurassic Park in it. They might have heard of Jurassic Park. Has no dinosaurs in this movie, but still, you got Santa Claus. It's in color, and it's lighthearted at times, but it does get a little bit dark, but not enough that it would scare or put off kids at all. I mean, it's just Santa, getting committed to Bellevue and sitting sadly looking out a window at snow at one point, which, is the harsh reality against his fantastical level of existence. It's just, Anyway, the other people you'll see in this thing, J.T. Walsh plays the prosecuting attorney. He always makes a pretty tough, like, bad guy kind of guy. And Dylan McDermott plays the lawyer that defends him and is also dating, Dory Walker. It's sort of dating Dory, and he hangs out with them all the time, and he lives upstairs, and what's her face, the little girl, Susan really likes him like a daddy. She keeps hinting at things to Mom. Mom's not ready for commitment. She doesn't believe in anything, and she's in charge of running the store and all the other stuff. So there's a little bit of family tension and things like that. So it's got a lot of different things going on, but it's not an overly complex film. It's just good-natured fun and hopefully uplifting. I mean, it's despite its some unrealistic aspects to it, this is a mass use internet era. This is newspapers are still giving the headlines as to crazy Santa Claus, and everybody's freaking out over it. And then with this word of mouth as to this Santa Claus is so great in this store, but there's no social media for anybody to tell about it. No hot takes on TikTok or anything about this Santa. If they make it anytime in the next 3-5 years, there's gonna be TikTok hot takes in Miracle on 34th Street, the 2024 edition or something. You never know. They could make a 30. Maybe they'd make a 100-year anniversary version of it. Who knows? or 80 years. We're coming up on 80 years from the original. So that's kind of a big deal. Anyway, that's there's lots of familiar faces in this. James Remar shows up. Oh, Jane Leeves, you remember Daphne from Frasier? She's in this. There's just all sorts of familiar faces in this, but it's an appropriate, good-hearted Christmas film, and I say check it out if you haven't seen it yet. If you've seen the original, yeah, maybe you have that set in your heart. That's the kind of thing you watch every year. Totally understandable. But if you have never seen the new version, you can compare and contrast. It doesn't have to, its existence does not negate the original. It's okay. So yeah, it's a good time. Good time. Yeah. Anyway, our next episode already picked is Holiday House Party. Holiday House Party. It's basically the Disney Channel kids sort of getting together and I guess doing skits or something. Miranda May, I think, from Bunked or something, is the host or something. I don't know. It's a short little thing that I think anybody who's Gen Z or is 8 will probably recognize the characters. I don't know if I will. But anyway, that's what we're watching tomorrow. Holiday House Party is on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye.